Congratulations, Alex.
Thank you.
How fun was it to play at the center court?
Super fun. It was huge and the atmosphere.
Sa Billionaire News Channel has been airing for a
Pinky Webb dropped the mic. An 11-word comment that brought Alex Eala to tears and silenced Karen Davila in an instant. Happy New Year, champions. Before we dive headfirst into one of the most explosive, jaw-dropping, and emotionally charged stories to rock Philippine sports during the holiday season, we need to pause for a moment that truly matters. We just crossed 2,000 subscribers, 2,000 people who live and breathe tennis, who stand firmly behind Filipino athletes through every high and low, and who are never afraid to speak up when our champions need defending. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being part of the Champions Tennis family. If you are new here, welcome. You could not have arrived at a more intense moment. We are growing fast, we are getting louder, and we are only getting started. 2026 is shaping up to be a massive year, and you will want to be here for every second of it. Now buckle in, because while much of the country was welcoming the new year with fireworks and celebration, a media firestorm was erupting that left fans stunned, divided, and deeply emotional. This story has all the elements of a full-blown drama. A beloved young athlete under fire, a veteran broadcaster known for sharp commentary and uncomfortable questions, and an unexpected hero who stepped in with a single statement that flipped the entire narrative. This is the kind of real-life drama that feels scripted, but it is painfully real. At the center of it all are three names: Alexandra Eala, the pride of Philippine tennis, and one of the brightest young stars on the international stage; Karen Davila, one of the most influential and polarizing figures in Philippine broadcasting; and Pinky Webb, the unlikely defender whose words cut through the noise and changed everything. What exactly happened? Why was Alex Eala reduced to tears during what should have been a joyful holiday break? How did one short comment from Pinky Webb manage to shut down a wave of criticism and rally an entire nation? And how does all of this connect to Alex landing in Auckland, racket in hand, preparing to face some of the most dangerous players on the women's tour? We have details on her arrival in New Zealand, her intense training sessions with coach Joan Bosch, the brutal draw waiting for her at the ASB Classic, and the roadmap of her Australian swing leading all the way to Melbourne Park. Settle in, because we are about to lay everything out with context, clarity, and respect for the people involved. This is Champions Tennis, and nothing is being sugar-coated. The question dominating social media, group chats, and comment sections across the Philippines sounds simple, but carries enormous emotional weight. How could she? More specifically, how could a Filipino broadcaster say such things about a Filipino athlete? That question hits hard because it touches something deeply rooted in our culture. Filipinos are fiercely protective of their own, especially those representing the country on the global stage. We celebrate their victories as if they belong to all of us. We feel their losses personally. So when criticism comes from within, from someone expected to uplift and support Filipino excellence, the sense of betrayal cuts deeper than any loss on court. To understand why this situation hurts so much, we need to talk honestly about the reality of being a professional athlete. The pressure alone is immense. Every time an athlete steps onto the court, they carry not just personal expectations, but the hopes of an entire nation. Their training schedules are relentless, often 6 to 8 hours a day of physical and mental strain that pushes the body to breaking point. There is constant travel, brutal jet lag, lonely hotel rooms, unfamiliar cities, and the emotional toll of being far from family for months at a time. There are injuries that threaten careers and a constant internal battle with doubt, fear, and uncertainty. That is the baseline reality before they even face an opponent. Now imagine facing all of that while being publicly criticized by voices from your own country. According to widespread reports and social media discussion, harsh and allegedly humiliating comments were directed at Alexandra Eala, with Karen Davila identified as the source. Karen has built her career on being direct, challenging narratives, and asking questions others avoid. That is her brand, and it has earned her respect over decades. But many within the sports community believe a clear line was crossed. There is a difference between constructive criticism meant to push athletes forward and public commentary that feels like humiliation of a young woman who has devoted her life to carrying the Philippine flag with pride. For days, Alex remained completely silent. No statements, no interviews, no social media response. And in many ways, that silence was entirely in character. She did not lash out. She did not defend herself publicly. She focused on what she has always focused on, her tennis. But silence does not mean indifference. Silence does not mean the words did not hurt. Alex is only 20 years old. She has spent most of her life training, competing, and sacrificing far from home. She has missed holidays, birthdays, and family milestones to chase a dream that often feels impossibly distant. That kind of loneliness is difficult to comprehend unless you have lived it. Just when it seemed like this wave of criticism would go unanswered, something unexpected happened. Pinky Webb stepped in. Known for being measured, professional, and careful to avoid unnecessary controversy, Pinky chose to speak out. And when she did, it sent shockwaves through the media landscape. Her message was simple, powerful, and impossible to misinterpret. If you cannot help young athletes, then do not humiliate Filipinos. Those words cut through the noise like a blade. They reminded everyone what real pride looks like when it is stripped of performative gestures and empty slogans. Real pride is not just cheering when athletes win medals. It is standing up for them when they are hurting, when they are struggling, when criticism turns personal. Pinky Webb's defense went beyond tennis. It was about decency, responsibility, and humanity. It was a public declaration that athletes are people first, deserving of respect regardless of results. The impact was immediate. Sources close to Alex revealed that after days of holding herself together through sheer discipline, the emotional dam finally broke. Hearing a respected figure publicly defend her and validate her efforts was overwhelming. Alex cried. And that moment mattered. Those tears were not weakness. They were proof that the words had reached her, that someone had finally stepped in to shield her when she needed it most. Shortly after, Alex responded in the simplest way possible. She did not issue a press release. She did not craft a long statement. She left an 11-word comment for Pinky Webb. Just 11 words, but words filled with gratitude, relief, and appreciation. That moment resonated deeply across the country. Two Filipinos standing together, one offering protection, the other expressing thanks, united against a wave of negativity. That exchange demonstrated something far more powerful than any argument. It showed class, grace, and solidarity. In a world where outrage and clapbacks dominate, Alex chose gratitude. Pinky chose compassion. And together, they reminded everyone watching what real strength looks like. To fully understand why this situation struck such a nerve, we have to look at the bigger picture of Eala's 2025 season. It was not just a good year, it was historic. A year that will be remembered as a turning point for Philippine tennis. And that context is essential because it makes the criticism feel not only harsh, but deeply misplaced. To understand why the criticism aimed at Eala sparked such an intense reaction, we have to step back and look at what she actually accomplished in 2025. This was not an average season. This was a landmark year, not just for Alex, but for Philippine sports as a whole. A year that will be referenced for decades whenever people talk about breakthrough moments and barriers finally being shattered. That is why so many fans were left asking a very simple question. How can anyone look at a year like this and find fault? Let's rewind and lay out the facts clearly, because the record speaks for itself. In 2025, Eala delivered a series of performances that redefined what was thought possible for a Filipino tennis player. She dominated the Southeast Asian Games in Thailand, producing a run that will live forever in national sporting history. That gold medal in women's singles ended a 26-year drought for the Philippines. 26 years without a Filipino woman standing on top of that podium. That kind of achievement cannot be overstated. It requires not just talent, but extraordinary mental strength. Every opponent wanted to beat her. Every match carried the weight of expectation. And yet she rose to the moment and delivered. And she did not stop there. Instead of slowing down or riding the wave of success, she kept pushing. She competed at the US Open, holding her own on one of the biggest stages in tennis and proving that she belongs among the elite. She climbed the rankings relentlessly, breaking into the top 60 in the world, a milestone that places her among the best players on the planet. At one point, she reached a career-high ranking around world number 53. Think about what that means. Out of billions of people worldwide, Eala became one of the top 60 female tennis players alive. A Filipina from Quezon City achieving something no Filipino woman had ever done before. And yet, despite all of this, criticism surfaced during the holidays, questioning her commitment, her choices, and her trajectory. That disconnect is exactly why Webb's defense resonated so deeply. It was not just about defending one athlete. It was about defending progress. It was about protecting the momentum Philippine sports has been building. We are living in an era where Filipino athletes are making history across multiple disciplines. Olympic medals in gymnastics, world records in weightlifting, continued excellence in boxing. Eala is part of that wave. Her story represents possibility for the next generation. Against this backdrop, Alex's response to the controversy speaks volumes about her character. She did not retreat. She did not disappear. She did not allow the noise to derail her path. She did what champions do. She went back to work. While debates raged online and media commentary continued back home, Alex boarded a plane and headed to Auckland, New Zealand, ready to begin her 2026 season. When images and videos from Auckland started circulating, one thing was immediately clear. She was locked in, focused, determined. Reports from the ground confirmed that Alex wasted no time settling in. She arrived and went straight to the practice courts at the ASB Tennis Center. By her side was coach Joan Bosch, the mentor who has guided her transformation from a promising junior into a legitimate WTA contender. Their partnership has been built through years of grind, setbacks, and steady growth. And it showed. There were no posed photos or performative smiles. Alex was all business, analyzing her serve, fine-tuning her forehand, adjusting to the conditions in Auckland, where wind, heat, and faster courts demand precision and adaptability. These details matter. This is where matches are won and lost. The ASB Classic is not just another tournament on the calendar. It is a critical early season test and a key lead-up event to the Australian Open. The field is stacked with players looking to sharpen their games and make statements before Melbourne. For Alex, this tournament represents opportunity and challenge in equal measure. It is a chance to remind the tennis world why she belongs where she is. But the path forward is brutal. The projected field includes some of the most dangerous competitors on tour. Players who have been deep in Grand Slams. Players with top 20 pedigree. Players who thrive on early season momentum. Names like Alina Svitolina loom large, a world number 14 and one of the toughest competitors in the game. Her defensive skills are legendary, her mental resilience unmatched. She can turn rallies into wars and grind opponents down until mistakes come. Facing someone like Svitolina is not just a physical test, but a psychological one. Then there is Emma Navarro, ranked around world number 15, riding the momentum of a rapid rise. Powerful, athletic, fearless. The kind of opponent who punishes hesitation and capitalizes on any lapse in focus. This is the level Alex is dealing with now. This is the reality of being a top 60 player. There are no easy matches, no gentle introductions. Every round is a battle. And yet, despite the pressure, despite the controversy, Alex showed no signs of hesitation. If anything, the situation appeared to harden her resolve. What this entire episode revealed is something far more important than rankings or results. It revealed who Eala is when things get difficult. In an era where athletes are often media trained to the point of sounding robotic, Alex showed vulnerability. She showed that words can hurt. She cried. She allowed herself to feel the weight of the moment. But then she stood back up, wiped away the tears, and got back to work. That is resilience. That 11-word comment she left for Webb will not be remembered for anger or defensiveness. It will be remembered for gratitude, for grace, for the quiet strength it represented. At a time when social media encourages constant confrontation, Alex chose appreciation. And in doing so, she won far more respect than any sharp comeback ever could. To those who believe criticism will slow her down, History suggests the opposite. Every doubt becomes motivation. Every challenge becomes fuel. Alex Eala is no longer just a promising young player hoping to break through. She is already there. Now the question is how far she can go. As 2026 begins, the focus shifts back to the court, where it belongs. The noise will fade. The debates will move on. What will remain are the results, the performances, and the continued evolution of a player carrying an entire nation's hopes with quiet determination. The Philippines is watching. The tennis world is watching. And Alex Eala is ready. This is Champions Tennis. And this story is only just beginning.